SMU landed a transfer portal wide receiver. And of course, that is the second one in really, a handful of days that jumped on board with SMU. And this one comes with not as much fanfare, but a lot of familiarity. And that is former SMU wide receiver Dylan Goffney returning to SMU to play for the Mustangs. And Dylan is somebody that I was really high on coming out of Bridgeland High School down in the Cypress area when he did. It was him, and he had a teammate as well in that Bridgeland class that I'll have to find. His name is escaping me for some reason, and I don't know why, but they do have a tendency of producing some top talent, and SMU. Bryce McMorris, who ended up he got hurt and just didn't pan out. He was kind of on a huge track there for a minute. But Dylan Goffney ended up leaving SMU for Colorado State, and he spent 2 seasons out there with the Rams before entering the transfer portal and opting to play his final season at SMU. So this is a really cool deal for him to come back. He wasn't somebody that when he left after the 2023 season or before the 2023 season that he wanted to leave. SMU had added guys like Keyshawn Smith, Moochie Dixon, maybe Moochie was the year before, but Keyshawn Smith, Romello Brinson, Jordan Hudson was there. They had just added a lot of these new names to the wide receiver room. And unfortunately for Dylan, on top of Roderick Daniels and Jake Bailey, I mean, he really would have had a tough time getting on the field. But in 18 games over 2 seasons, his first 2 with SMU, he caught 32 balls, 500 yards, 2 touchdowns. Man, you were just waiting for maybe that breakout year from him. And instead, he had to go elsewhere to do that. And in 2023 for Colorado State, he was 5th on the team with 23 receptions, 298 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He played in 11 games with 8 starts that year. And then in 2024, he made 1 start over 4 games, the first 4 games, and then he sat out the rest of the season with the intent to transfer and save this last year of eligibility. He caught 6 passes for 57 yards. Now, this is not game breaker, difference maker, but what Dylan Goffney brings to the table now is at a position where SMU just signed a big freshman class. They're on track to maybe sign the same number of wide receivers as they did in 2025. So they're bringing in wide receivers left and right. Scholarship-wise, it's very low risk because he does have 1 more year. And then on the flip side of that, you get somebody who knows the system. Even when Dylan Goffney entered the portal, I think a couple weeks ago, Kevin Jennings had quote tweeted it and maybe said something like "come home." I don't know if he added that, but he was, made his feelings felt about how he felt about Dylan Goffney maybe returning to the program. And so for Dylan to come back, you got that familiarity. He really loves SMU. He didn't, want to leave. And again, it was just solely opportunity based for him to go ahead and make that move. And he did. And you know what? It kind of worked out in a sense. He's come back now and he's able to spend his final year of eligibility at SMU. He'll play inside and out or have the opportunity to. He's got the size to, be able to play on the outside while also playing on the inside. So this is a nice pickup for SMU. Again, low risk, not high cost. You have Jordan Hudson. You have Romello Brinson. You have Jalen Cooper, who they really like after spring. Dalen Singleton still developing. They really like his future. You add Link Rhodes this summer. And then we'll talk about the other receiver SMU added, of course, Ymir Knight here in just a second. But this is a very safe play for SMU and one that makes a lot of sense. He's a mature young man and he's a vet and he's looking to make one final statement before his draft year, make a move and see if he can push these other wide receivers and get on the field and make, like I said, make a move. And so this was a smart move by Rhett Lashley and SMU. They're down to their final scholarship or 2 that they can use here. And so they will try to figure out where that goes, whether it be D tackle or linebacker or some other best available position. They'll work that out. But SMU doing this, I think, was a very smart move. He's a really good young man now who didn't want to leave SMU in the first place. and just saw a stacked receiver room that, you know, he needed to go somewhere else and play. So these are kind of not the fun transfer stories, because you would have liked him to not transfer and play out his SMU career. But at the same time, it works out him coming back to Dallas, his home state, as well, for his final year of eligibility. So pretty cool stuff there.